Mayor, I have Commissioner Campbell in queue.
Do you want us to put these on now?
You
No.
can.
It's not
Only
necessary.
when you talk.
Only when I talk. Thank you.
You sound great, by the way.
Mayor, I have Commissioner Davis in the queue as well.
I'm turning my mic on, I see. Good afternoon, everybody, and welcome to the City of Palatka City Commission Budget Workshop on July 10th. On July 10th, 2025 at 4 p.m. We're going to start with an invocation by Commissioner Campbell, please. And a pledge of allegiance by Miss Clady.
If you would join me in prayer. Dear Heavenly Father, God, we thank you for this day. We thank you for grace. We thank you for mercy. God, we ask as we go forth with this meeting, God, that you allow us the wisdom, knowledge, and understanding to make sound decisions to help move this city forward financially, God. We thank you for all of your blessings. We thank you for every citizen that is represented, not only in the chambers, but in the city and this great county, God. We thank you. We appreciate you. Amen.
Thank you.
I pledge
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Roll call, please, Madam Clerk.
Mayor Carrera,
Present.
Commissioner Davis,
Present.
Commissioner Campbell. He's present.
Present.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Commissioner Jones. Commissioner Borum.
Thank you. We're going to move on to public comments. Public comments are limited to 3 minutes. Please give your name and city or town of residence when you come up to the podium and be respectful and kind to others. First, we have Miss Kitchens.
Allegra Kitchens, Palatka, Florida. I thought the art in public places was going to be on the agenda. But also I want to speak about the Connolly Snyder Mural Committee very briefly. It was founded by Clinton and Elizabeth Snyder several years ago when the Minute Maid Company picked the former Judge Calhoun's home to be the Minute Maid bed and breakfast for a national ad. And they put a mural on the side of a building that was on the 100 block that's no longer there. Clinton and Elizabeth had gone to various towns and seen a lot of murals, and they decided that the best thing for Palatka, to help Palatka, would be to have Palatka become the mural city of Northeast Florida. And they founded the Connolly Mural Committee in honor of the late Palatka Commissioner Lee Connolly, and also he was the honorary member of honorary city commissioner, honorary member after he died, honorary mayor, sorry. The Snyders were very, very active in trying to promote good things for Palatka. I was on the original committee. I'm still on the committee. Several years ago, they changed it to Connolly Snyder in honor of Mr. and Mrs. Snyder's contribution to the committee. And I just want to urge the city to support the murals in public places, to support making Palatka the mural city of Northeast Florida. Also, we were formed not just to do murals and to promote Palatka as the mural city of Northeast Florida, but the murals are to reflect our history, the history of Palatka and the natural history of Florida and some of Florida history also. So it's very important to educate people as well as bring people down to here, bring tourists down. The people that come in on the boat, the first thing they see, they take a tour of the murals. Buses come down from Jacksonville. People come to see our murals. We need to preserve our murals. We need to protect our murals, and we need to add more murals. We also want to extend further than the downtown CRA and go to the north side. We are thinking about, if the city will help us, or at least agree, put a mural up on the Jenkins building. We want to honor more Black history. Right now, we've honored the Belton Syncopators on the side of a sailor's building owned by Jeremy Alexander. But we want to get more into Black history as well as other history, as Black history is also a very important part of Palatka and the United States. Thank you very much.
Thank you. John Alexander.
Thank you, John Alexander, 919 Carr Street, Chairman of the Connolly Snyder Mural Committee. Since 1998, the mission of the Connolly Snyder Mural Committee has been to accurately depict the historical, cultural, and natural riches of Palatka and Putnam County in large or larger than life murals on walls of buildings. These murals have been portrayed in mostly the downtown area. In portraying these murals, we have wanted to create pride in our city and to also attract tourists to come to Palatka. We would like the tourists to come, listen to the stories of each creation that's heard on their cell phones from our QR codes. Palatka is known as the Mural City. We want to include not just the downtown area, but we want to be inclusive and include all of Palatka, the whole city of Palatka. We'd like to tap into the history of the north side. There's a rich history there that we have not tapped into. Walls there are hard to find, but we would like to utilize the use of panels, and maybe in that way we can paint murals on panels. Palatka is also known as the bass capital. We would like to utilize that in our creations. Some of our projects are putting murals on, well, not putting murals on, but the picture of murals on t-shirts. We'd like to portray our murals on postcards. We'd like to create matted prints and note cards. With your continued support, we can continue to share our rich past and our present, as well as our future through our murals. We need your support with, in some way, having some type of ordinance to protect our murals and to protect public art.
Thank you, Mr. Alexander. Oh, that's
Thank you.
painful. Shelley Shanker.
Thank you, Shelley Shanker from East Palatka, Florida, and I'm here representing the Arts Alliance. Apparently there's a wave of art sending your way, and I'm going to tie it into the budget because I'm from a lot of different places before here. And in some places, I don't think it's true here, and I don't think it's true in Florida in general, but there's a requirement of every budget that is a city or municipality that a percentage of it be towards public art. So I think that what you're seeing here is really just people who are really supporting the arts, and they're very excited about that being part of your mandate, what you do as you look at the budget. I want to just promote that. Earlier this week, there was a committee meeting that we surprised because the artists in the art sector kind of came out in force for just a little committee meeting. There were over 20 of us supporting the results of that committee. We're very excited and very wanting to be an active part of what you do here. So thank you and good luck with this budget.
Thank you. Is there anybody here for general comments, not specific to anything on the agenda? Mr. Crawley, please fill out a yellow card when you're finished, but come on up. Yeah, come on up, please. 3 minutes.
I'm Steve Crowley, 607 South Moody Road, Palatka. I'm here also in support of the Conley Snyder Mural Committee. Public art, as other people have said, is very important, particularly for establishing the quality of life in a community and letting a community know what it values and what's important and what its history is. Several years ago, a group of school children was taken on a tour of the murals, and they were just wowed by the rich history that lives here in Palatka and in Putnam County. Trivial facts that Palatka was bigger than Jacksonville and things like that, that people don't know about unless they see them. And one of the best ways to do that is visually and through other types of public art. I support the idea of an ordinance committing a portion of the city budget to public art in all of its forms. I know we're perhaps not allowed to do sidewalk crossings anymore, but other types of public art are truly valuable to the city and to the community so that they have something that is their own and something that they can have pride in. And like any other organization, the Conley Snyder Mural Committee needs money. And, if you'd all give us a few $1,000s, we would love you dearly, appreciate you a whole lot, and put you all in a mural probably. So, that would be great if we had, the Rogues Gallery of the city of Palatka in one of our murals. Thank you very much for the opportunity to speak with you today, and I do urge your support of the Conley Snyder Mural Committee.
Thank you. Yeah, please fill out a yellow card. Ms. Craybill, also, when you finish speaking, fill out a yellow card.
609 South 14th Street. I've been a member of the mural committee since 2005, and it's been a wonderful experience being able to share our history with the public. And the more we can get out there and share it, the more they understand. And there's so many people that do not know about the Bronson Mulholland House and other things about history. And I think it would be in the best interest of the city to help promote it and protect it. We also have part of our money goes toward restoration and preservation. So we take that into consideration as what the cost they're paying the artist and all. So that's part of our budget. Thank you.
Thank you.
Diane?
Sure, go ahead.
I'd like to respond, Mayor, to
Please.
just mention that in the budget, particularly in that CRA budget, there are funds allocated to public art. This year it was like 23,000, and we're proposing almost level funding for next fiscal
Yes,
year.
and I think it's one of those things, as we move forward, we need to look at increasing the amount of that budget. That doesn't honestly go too far these days. Just a mural alone can be close to, it's like $6,000 to $8,000 or more. So that's just the mural, and that doesn't give us any wiggle room for other forms of public art, which I'm a strong advocate for. The mural, Palatka on the mural tour for the state as well. It is part of the mural route. So we need to take pride in that, but we also do need, and we've talked about this, some more heritage tourism kiosks and other ways to make people aware of the history of our city and our county. But more than that, we only have a few sculptures in the city. We have the doughboys and the sailors, and then we have the bass fish sculpture, which is fairly new in the scheme of things. So we definitely could use more types of public art. So we need to look at that. Thank you.
Mayor,
Yes,
if I may add, I totally agree with that. I'm a strong proponent of the arts. And I do want to just add to Ms. Cardy, as we're looking at the budget, where we have opportunity to increase funds for that, in particular for the murals. One of the things I use in making decisions about future items or things we want to bring in is looking at our existing items we have in the city and maintaining those and make sure they're where they should be before we add anything else. So thank you. And I just want to concur with the mayor.
Commissioner Campbell, do you have any thoughts about this topic?
I actually agree with both Mayor and Commissioner Davis. I think it's something that we need to take in consideration of trying to see if we can pull more funds into that particular line item. We know that they have been before the commission several times before, and I think this is an opportunity for us to, being that we are in the budget season, to see where we can pull to make sure that we fund that line a little bit more.
Thank you. With that said, is there anybody else here rather for public comment for items not specifically on this agenda? Please, and please put out a yellow card when you finish speaking. Thank you.
Good afternoon, Mayor, Commissioners. My name is Georgia Mitchell. I live in the North District of Palatka. And as many of you may know, I work with the Putnam County Caring Coalition, who sponsors the temporary overnight safe space. The city was kind enough to divert some COVID funding. I think is that the correct term? To help us with overhead. And those funds went to attendant salaries. Those types of costs will continue to go for us throughout the year, in the upcoming year. We recently surpassed 28,000 hours of service, and we have come to a place where in our current capacity, we are turning away guests at night toward the beginning of the month or the end of the month. And I think that kind of runs with some of our guests and where their checks come in. Many of our guests, about 20%, have jobs and cannot afford housing, and about another 10% of them are senior citizens whose checks will not provide housing for them. We have two programs that we're going to begin to launch this fiscal. One will be transitional housing, so that we can help those folks who can't afford housing find some. And the second will be diversion, which is when say if someone comes to us and says, gosh, if I could just get to my family, if I could just get this $200, I could pay my landlord to make my rent. We've received funding to help bridge that gap. So as we work through our fiscal year, we would appreciate any room in the budget to help us cover the costs that we incur with our overnight attendance. We have to have someone there every night. That cost by itself comes in at about $86,000 a year, as well as any support for those new programs. Thank you.
Thank you. Is there anybody else here for public comment for items not specific on the agenda?
Mayor,
Yes, go Commissioner Campbell.
may I make a request? Since we've heard from items that are not listed with regards to their desire to have funding, may we move up the nonprofit portion of this so that we would be able to hear from them? I know that it can possibly be lengthy once we talk about the other items, but I would not want to have them sit there the entire meeting if we can go ahead and just hear them, being that we've already heard from some others with regards to a request.
Seems like a reasonable request. Thank you, and we can do that. But is there anybody else here so I can close public comment so we can move on to that? Seeing none, I'll close public comment. And with that said, based on Commissioner Campbell's recommendation, we will move on to item I, nonprofits budgets, and we will start with Feed the Need. Yeah, I was gonna say the PowerPoint presentation. It's coming up for a minute. Please give us your names and
I'm Stacy Isold. I'm here representing Feed the Need of Putnam County.
And I'm Renee Huff, and I'm one of the board of directors.
thank you.
Okay.
You're all at the way at the end, so.
It's okay. The PowerPoint's probably longer than minutes, so
Okay.
I can give you an overview of what we do.
Okay, that's fine.
Okay, so Feed the Need of Putnam County, if you don't know, we, during the school year, we feed over 800 children every weekend that are identified by teachers and staff at the Putnam County schools as being food insecure. They either notice that they don't have enough food, or the parents or guardians will request that they be added to the list. We send home non-perishable foods with them that are kid-friendly. And we also provide meals and snacks and drinks over the summer. The meals are when we're able to, when we have the funding. And when we get access to fresh produce and meat, we send it to the Interlochen High School Culinary Arts team. So the teacher there can use it to teach cooking and prep and all that. And when there's extra, he will send it home with his students that tell him that they're hungry. Our food comes from donations, grants, and purchasing. We store it currently in the Bramlett Plumbing and Electric warehouse, but we're moving in the next couple of weeks to our new warehouse in East Palatka that was donated to us. We're very grateful for that. We have wonderful volunteers that help us. And as you all know, that kids can't learn when they're hungry. It's hard to concentrate even in this meeting if we were sitting here hungry. So we know how important it is to bridge the gap. We use that term as well over the weekend from Friday to Monday to make sure that they're ready for school on Monday. Of course, you may all know the statistics. What we really could use us help with the city is helping offset the cost of the rising food cost, which, you know, we all know that groceries cost a lot more. Another thing we do is we do send home family bags once a month because people will donate cans of peas and bags of rice and things like that that we're not going to put in a backpack. So we send it home for the families to make. Would you like to? We did put together kind of a rough estimate of the monetary amount of food and all the things that feminine hygiene products, toiletries that we put into the Putnam County school system each year. And it's approximately, this one's not updated. It's over $350,000 a year monetary value of what we're putting into the school system. We do try and involve the community as much as possible. Every year we have a big teen event where they come and pack food and over 40,000 meals in one night. And about to call you Denise. Renee works at for the school board, so she's a huge gap or a huge bridge for us to with the school. We also have an annual fall gala that we put on. It's our largest fundraiser of the year. It's lots of fun. If anybody ever sees an advertisement for us, please join us. And we also like to be very transparent. So you're welcome to go on GuideStar. You can look up any nonprofit that, you know, has their stuff public and see what we're spending our money on.
Thank you.
Yeah. Thank you.
Any questions? Commissioner Campbell or Commissioner Davis? Thank you.
Thank you.
Next, we have the presentation from PAL.
Good afternoon, Pamela Brown from San Mateo. I am representing our Executive Director, Lolita Thomas. She could not be here with us today because she is traveling with our youth at the Youth Summit in Virginia right now. So they are showing our mentees a great time in Virginia at the summit. So Palatka PAL. Palatka Police Athletic League is one of the oldest, largest crime prevention programs in the United States, and Palatka PAL enriches the lives of youth by creating relationships between law enforcement and youth through educational, athletic, and leadership programs. We are led by Chief Jason Shaw, our president, Toby Williams, and Lolita Thomas, our executive director. Our programs and activities include mentoring programs, National PAL Conference, which they are attending right now, summer camp, National Night Out, esports, basketball, cheer, annual back to school giveaway, National PAL Teen Summit, State PAL Conference, golf tournament, PAL License Tag Program, and the Trunk or Treat Program. Including the Fall Festival, which the city of Palatka hosts and we participate in, and we also have added baseball. Okay. So Palatka PAL mentoring grant was awarded by the National Police Athletic League and funded by the U.S. Department of Justice. Our mentor program, we service at-risk, high-risk youth ages 7 to 17. We meet 4 hours a month and participate in community activities. And our theme for this year is Champion Fitness for PAL. We also have an opioid mentor program, O-Mentor, for ages 10 to 18. The program goal is to build positive relationships while decreasing the impact of opioids on youth through innovative connections and experiences using evidence-based curriculum and practices. And our program we're using this year is I Lead, Preparing the Next Gen Leaders. Here are a few pictures from some of our programs, our cheer, our baseball, pictures from the conferences, our PAL. Some of you may have seen our PAL bus. It looks like a bus, but it's actually a trailer, but we had it outfitted to look like a bus. And you've probably seen that at some events in downtown Palatka or around the city. We have our esports program, which is housed at the Calvary Family Life Center. And that picture right in the middle at the bottom is how huge our backpack giveaway has become. Our Camp Higher Ground. Currently this year, we have 115 youth in that summer camp program. We had 90 youth participate in basketball, 40 to 50 in the cheer program, and 109 in our mentoring program. And we currently have 70 in our opioid awareness mentoring program. Volunteers are welcome. All applicants must go through a screening process and a level 2 background check before acceptance into our Palatka PAL programs. Volunteers are welcome in all capacities. So we are flexible and we connect with our youth. And our call to action, how can you support us? Direct funding support. Allocate a portion of funding. Establish a dedicated line item in your budget. When PAL secures other grants that require matching, the city to commit to provide matching funds. In-kind support, provide free access to city-owned athletic fields, gyms, community centers, provide transportation for youth to participate in PAL activities. That's one of our big things, transportation. Staff support to lend expertise and volunteer time to support PAL. Promotional and outreach support by utilizing your communication channels, websites, social media, and community events to help promote PAL programs. Publicly recognize the achievement of PAL participants. Our policy and regulatory support could be ensure strong and ongoing collaboration with Palatka Force and PAL, and pass resolutions or adopt policies that explicitly prioritize and support youth development programs. Thank you, and thank you for the opportunity to present this information and the wonderful work we're doing with the Palatka PAL.
Thank you, Ms. Henderson. Commissioner Campbell, Commissioner Davis, any questions?
I have none. Thank you.
No questions, Mayor. Thank you.
Commissioner Borum?
No, I don't have any questions.
Thank you.
Support the program.
I'm doing the next.
Okay, 1 second. And also, just for the record, Commissioner Borum is here. Okay, and we're going on to Family Life Center.
Yes. Lolita serves on our board and she could not be here. So Tag, you're it, and I'm here. So for the Family Life Center, if you have not visited the Family Life Center, I encourage you to come by. We'll give you a tour. There are some great things going on at the Family Life Center. And just to tell you a little bit about it, the Family Life Center is an 80,000 square foot facility located in the heart of the north side of Palatka. Phase 1 of the facility was completed in 2002. Here are pictures of our junior Olympic size pool, our fitness area. On the next slide is our fitness area. We also have a basketball court and a skating room. We use the basketball court, it doubles as a skating rink. So the kids really love. So the students who are participating in our summer camp, they have the opportunity to skate and enjoy other activities besides just being at a summer camp all day. Our banquet room, that's our banquet room, which we also have a commercial kitchen. The Family Life Center has many partnerships with different organizations, especially Palatka PAL. And we enjoy that relationship with Palatka PAL, and we host the back to school event there. We recently hosted the Night to Shine event along with First Baptist Church, and the mentoring program is hosted there. So there's a lot of activity going on in that building. We would like to offer public swimming open to the public for free. Scheduled swimming for children, youth, and adults. Swimming lessons, senior citizens classes. We are requesting $35,000 in support of getting the pool operational to provide these services free of charge to the community. Thank you. We hope you have the support of, we have the support of the City of Palatka City Commission. And that is the presentation from the Family Life Center. Any questions?
Thank you. Any questions, Commissioner Moore? Okay. Any questions, Commissioner Campbell or Commissioner
No.
Davis?
No questions. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you for the
No
opportunity.
questions. Thank you.
Thank you. Episcopal Children's Services, ECS for Kids.
Hello, how are you doing? My name is Brittany Spangler, and I'm the Assistant Vice President of Episcopal Children's Services from Jacksonville, Florida. A little bit about what we are or who we are. We're a nonprofit dedicated to helping underserved children and succeed at school and beyond. We provide the essential support and guidance to families seeking high quality care and education. And for over 50 years, this year is starting our 59th year, we've led the foundation for a lifelong learning of success, one child at a time. This last year, we have updated our brand and our name and logo to ECS, from Episcopal Children's Services to ECS for Kids. And a copy of our logo is on that slide. This page just tells you a little bit about our core values, what we believe in: collaboration, integrity, respect, community, learning, and education. Over this last fiscal year, which is from July 1st of 24 to June 30th, 2025, on average, we served 782 children from Putnam County, with 30 contracted programs in Putnam County that serve these children. We had 476 VPK children and 23 contracted programs. And then we also had 2,196 child care resource and referral contacts, which is a free service that we offer to support families or anyone reaching out to us, not only to find out about child care availability, but also other community resources within the county. Not only does ECS support families and their assistance with childcare, we also support the small businesses of Putnam County. I apologize for the typo. It is Putnam County. Those providers are small businesses that receive training, technical assistance, coaching support from our education team. We use the class tool to assess our childcare providers, which measures child-teacher interactions. We provide free training, scholarships, and professional credentials. And for every child care program that is legally operating, they are able to advertise their services for free of charge through our database. We have recently moved. We are now occupants of the Jenkins Community Center. We're very excited about that. Our office hours are Monday through Friday, 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. And the reason why I'm here today is to request for the second year in a row, $3,000 in your 2025-2026 budget. It was mentioned last year when I spoke to you, possibly adding us as a line item on the budget, but I'm not sure if that quite happened. So I just wanted to make sure we were here today to have this request. So this next slide is our updated 2024 for the state of Florida. It shows you how expensive the cost of childcare is in the state of Florida. If you look on the far left, that gives you some examples for the annual cost of example, an infant in a family childcare home. It costs $11,201 on average, going all the way down to give some center-based care information as well. In the very center of the stage, it kind of gives you some statistics of the median household incomes, as well as the Department of Health and Human Services said that the cost of childcare should be 7% or less of the household cost. However, unfortunately, with a two-parent household, it's currently about 12%, and in a single-parent household, it's currently about 32% of the household costs. The far right gives you an example if the pink or red, whatever you want to call that, is if you were to have two children in childcare, an infant and a 4-year-old. The middle column is housing costs, and the far right is the annual cost of the 4-year college tuition. So you can see just in those 3 examples that childcare is more expensive for 2 children against those 2 different comparisons. So how your funds help and kind of how it works is we do receive school readiness funds from the federal government for the most part, but they do require us to have a 6% match. In addition to that match, the state of Florida matches whatever we receive one-to-one basis. So your contribution of $3,000 would bring in about $47,000 in federal funds, and then an additional $3,000 with a total return of $50,000 for your $3,000. This funding is be solely used to support child care services for income eligible working families that meet this requirement. And that is 100% goes to direct services. And looking at the cost of child care this last year, that would approximately give 10 children 1 year of child care services. That's it. Thank you for the opportunity. And if you have any questions.
Any questions, Commissioner Moore? Any questions, Commissioner Campbell or Davis?
I have none. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
No questions.
We'll go on to regular business, budget revenues and expenses. Yes, please.
Good afternoon, good evening. Everyone's here, Mayor, Commissioners, everyone. Thank you for being here. This is our 3rd draft of the budget, and I'm just going to do a really high summarization. It's about 45 pages or more, but just this particular draft, now that we have the bulk of what we call the wish list and everything that the departments would need at this point, our total revenue is about 81 million, counting all of the grants that are being actualized this year. So the grant portion is a good amount of that. And also the expenses with grant expenditures included is 81,834,000. So if we look at general fund, at this point, this is not a balanced budget. This is a budget just saying everything that we would like to have or need. The steps that we have to do, well, let me go back to general fund at this point has more expenses than revenue of at least about 1.7 million. So that is us. And the primary reason is because we're looking at, and this is draft number 3. So what we're looking at is bringing in a new fire engine truck. That's 1.8 million by itself. So that's the primary reason. And then we have the other capital expenditures for our other departments as well. So in order to get to a moment of having our balanced budget, which we would really present with the next one, be very close to it. Number one, we have to look at our millage rate, and we need to make a determination. I did send out some information, and we can talk about it more at the next budget meeting on August 4th. But basically, we have a rollback millage rate of about 6.2397. Our current millage rate is 6.4. The difference in the revenue stream, depending upon if we took the existing millage rate and the rollback, the difference is about 100,000. I think it was 44,000 in difference. But if we were to decide to stay at the 6.4, we will generate about 4.7 million. If we were to consider going to a 6.8 millage rate, it would generate about 5 million. Coupled with that is the analysis that we need to do with the fire assessment. So currently, we did put the fire assessment rate backwards. I hope I brought it with me. That's that one paper right there, that white paper. Thank you. And so we're still at a moment as of July 9th or 10th where we're getting information in. Currently, from last year, we reduced our tier 1 rate from 2.46 and we reduced it down to 2.35 for that tier 1, which is our variable portion. Our fixed portion we did not touch, and that remains at a rate of $125 per parcel. So in summary, if we go back to where we were before we reduced it down from the 2.46 to the 2.35 by 11 cents, if we went back to where we were, our revenue stream from fire assessment would be 2,292,000. If we stay where we are, the reduced amount, which is at 2.35, then we would go to a 2,200,000 amount. So the difference between those two amounts is $80,500. Another item to consider with our fire assessment is the fact that we have about 3,950 parcels. So these are some of the factors that we have to look at in order to get closer to a budgeted balance. Some other things that we have to look at is our water utilities. I did start the analysis, and based upon the analysis that was completed yesterday, we do need to look at raising our rate. We have not raised it in about 2 years, 3 years. Right now, as you saw last month, the water utility net was very small. So when I do the projection, if we stay the course like how we're doing, we will probably experience a loss in water utilities. So to prevent that, I am looking at what is the percentage that we do need to consider with our rates. The last time the rates was raised was September 22nd, 2022. And it was raised by 7.15%. From everything I see, we need to possibly look at anywhere between 6 to 7% to ensure that we are generating enough revenue to maintain our capital expenditures that are not grant funded. So part of the reason why we can see this shortfall that could possibly occur is because we do have a path where we are moving on with infrastructure, looking at the roads recently. We have just, we had a plan to expand our roads in this current year with city funds by 2.4 million. And as of right now, when we expect a meeting with the project manager and public works this week, we will most likely complete 1.8 million in street renovations with city funds. So I'm just sharing that to say that we do have the budget that we have now. There are some open items that will get us to a closer balanced budget, and some of those activities that need to be completed, which is waiting on information, would be, we have a fire union that we're in the midst of. And so we're trying to understand, will that impact our budget? We're looking at items such as Roddy Road repairs, and that is funded by the city, not anyone else, no grant, anything. This morning we got a call from FDOT. They're now at the point where they're ready to start improving. I don't know if the project manager is there, maybe you can explain a little bit better. So, but again, these are items that as we're, getting this information is changing the budget. Also, at the end of July, we will receive a confirmation of state revenue estimation. So these are open items that will need to be completed by the time we make the next presentation. The Appendix A process will need to also be completed. Appendix A means that we go through the city, look at all the rates of the services that the city provide, and make certain that they're in line with where they should be. But I'd like the project manager, if it's okay, just briefly.
That's fine. That
To
would be great.
explain why that FDO cost needs to be considered. And this is the first time, as of this morning, that we received any information on that. Okay, so. is
Whatever
that
works,
okay?
that's fine as well.
Okay, fine.
Yeah.
All right, so therefore, in summary, those are numbers that are being perfected and will still have to go into the budgeting process.
Okay, thank you. Any questions?
Mayor,
Yes, go ahead.
I'm sorry. I didn't know if you guys could see my hand raised. I don't have questions for Ms. Cardy, but I would like to comment. Let me make this comment, and if you could confirm my thinking, Ms. Cardy.
Okay, that's fine.
What I'm hearing you say is that right now we're at risk, even at our current rates, the millage rate and the fire assessment rate, of still having a shortfall, even if we did not, if we did nothing. Is that a true statement?
Well, I'm saying that's relatively.
Potentially. Okay, so I guess the comment I want to make is then we need to be cognizant of balancing. Yes, we're getting feedback from our citizens that they would like some lower rates on things. However, there's no way, from what I'm hearing and what I've read in this iteration of the budget, that we can continue with even our current level of service by decreasing any of the rates, either the millage or the fire assessment rate. One of the things I hope we consider is that public safety is critical and it comes at a cost. And I think we have to do a better job of explaining to our citizens the true cost of providing the services we do. And truthfully, we're providing those services without a needed increase. And so it's not even viable to consider a decrease in those rates. So that's really what I want to say. There are some things we have to do that are basic. infrastructure, public safety, and public safety is critical. I know we're considering some other items. People want some entertainment in the city and all of that, but we can't pay for entertainment at the expense of not providing basic services. So that's really the comment I want to make. So we'll look further when we get more information.
Thank you. Commissioner Campbell? Okay, and also
I'm
you-
sorry. I actually agree with Commissioner Davis, so I won't rehash everything that she stated, but I am in agreement with her statement.
I'm in agreement also, and also to note that it's likely that we've, as a community, as a city, have been very grant reliant over the last several years, and I don't think we'll be getting the grant revenue that we have received historically. I think that's going to dry up a bit as well, at least as we understand it from state and federal sources. So all of those things are going to be factors we have to consider going into this budget.
Yes, and those are some of the factors we did consider in trying to project where we are and where we're headed. And so when you move out the grant revenue situation and just focus in on operating, you can see that even though for, I think, 2 or 3 years, we did not raise the rates of the utilities, we do need to consider that again.
Thank you.
And also as it relates to fire assessment, the amount that we are collecting or projected to collect for this year's budget, that's like about 50%. For the current year, the budget amount was 55% of the total budget for fire.
Thank you. And you might as well stay there because we're going on to the finance budget next.
Okay. Finance. Okay.
But I got
Oh, go ahead.
a statement. I mean, I agree with the other commissioners as well, but I think what we really need to do is analyze what we currently have, where we were 3 years ago and where we are now, because we were at a nice surplus the past few years, and I think the operational budget, the operational audit would help us understand better how money seemed to be not meeting up to what we need, because I thought we was in a much better position than I'm hearing. And now we're here at the budget and the third of the budget season. This is a third budget hearing, and we're going in the wrong direction. So as soon as we can get that operational audit done, and we need to make sure that get in the process as fast as possible. That'll give us a better understanding, because we talked about how things can look from year to year without an operational. So we haven't had the operational to understand and truly know where we are.
Yes, sir. And we are working on that, getting that. What needs to happen now perhaps is that it comes to that July 24th meeting on the agenda. Because we have received one proposal, but I did want us to possibly, as we had mentioned, look at other firms. So we can still do that, but whatever you prefer, you know.
Well, I thought you already had the list of firms that you set forth
Yeah,
by.
we do,
So,
but we're waiting to get information. So we have started the process.
right, but we can't keep, well, we need to move
Yeah,
on
yeah.
those things. Thank you.
I will try to push them further.
Thank you. On to finance budget.
I'm sorry,
go ahead,
Mayor,
Commissioner. That's fine, Commissioner
I
Davis.
apologize.
That's okay.
One of the things I want to say, yes, I'm in favor of the operational audit, but I will also hope that we take this opportunity to review the full budget and look at areas that have some optional expenses allocated in the budget. And I've identified several, which, I have shared with Ms. Cardy in giving feedback on the budget. I think that's one place we can look to reallocate funds in necessary areas. And then to Commissioner Borum's point, when we get results of an operational audit, we can further refine to ensure that we're putting the city's money paid by our constituents in the right buckets, doing the right thing. So that's really what I want to say, because I see some opportunities to reallocate based on where we are even currently. Thank you.
Thank you.
So, and before I start the finance, budget, I just want to comment that, we're in the process of budgeting. So our expectation is by the time we get to the August 4th, that we have enough information to really quantify the revenue. Because it's the revenue that determines where we have to make cuts and so forth.
Thank you.
Okay. So for the finance department, first of all, I want to say that we do have a finance director that will be starting next Monday. So hopefully this will be the last time that I'm, standing in this capacity, but I do want to talk about the achievements. I think the biggest achievement that the finance department did was to have a year where it ended up with an audit that had no findings, and we had changes in personnel. We did a lot of upgrading and policies and procedures and mitigation, just steps that as a department, our team knows how to do. We're blessed to have individuals that are very, very committed to the city, not just coming to work every day, but they'll come and stay until 9 o'clock at night if they have to ensure that payroll is met, that deadlines are met. And for that, I'm very appreciative. As it relates to the quantified audit report itself, this year, the city's net position increased by $8.9 million. I mean, if that doesn't deserve applaud, what does? Because in 1 year, for us to increase by almost $9 million, that's phenomenal. And that increase came from general fund, 1.9 million, enterprise fund, 7 million. So even though I'm talking to you about the water utilities, we're still on a good track, but I, as finance director, want to protect that. I don't want us to be casual and take for granted that, oh, we're still going to make money. No, we have to monitor, manage, and make decisions that ensure profitability. So the next thing is the monthly reporting to the commissioners was established in the month of March and has continued to right now in response to the commissioners' requests. We've improved reporting by putting graphs and charts and analysis. And the finance department, they process a lot. They pay more than 5,000 invoices, 3,000 vendors. They set up some new vendors and customers. The most notable operational change in 24-25 was that we implemented a system where source documents, and that's what made the audit go so smoothly. And that when the auditor asks for something, you don't have to hunt for it. It's tied to the transactions in the software itself. We've improved a lot of forms like budget transfers, and that allows the departments themselves to understand what they're doing even better. And finally, for the year that's coming up, we want to do something that's new, and it's called Departmental Financial Accounting. What that will do is let each department have a better understanding of the allocation of revenue that come in, what is allocated to each individual department in the general fund area particularly. And that way they can have an appreciation for, if I'm spending like say if I'm spending say $5 million, right? Because we have departments that spend $5 million. Well, that department needs to understand that their pro rata share of the revenue stream is only like say 4,200,000. And so the goal is to have the departments be more accountable, more aware, and hopefully help us with securing funds outside of what's being allocated. And that's the main thing. So the current budget for operating for finance is 42,973 for this new year. 25-26 is 51,472. The other thing, the personnel current staffing is basically the same, no change. And then finally, the final thing is capital budget it's just an increment of $5,000. So that's it for the finance department.
Thank you. Commissioner Davis, any questions, comments?
No, no, thank you. I'm good.
Commissioner Campbell,
I have none. Thank you, Mayor.
Commissioner Boyle? Thank you. Okay, thank you. On to legal budget.
Good afternoon, everyone. This is the mission statement for the legal department. It's been a real honor to elevate this department from what actually did not exist over 2 years ago. And I have been working diligently with every single department within the city to address their needs, everything from RFPs to contract review to personnel issues. Everyone in this room that works for the city right now, I work with on a daily basis, just this morning, code enforcement, police department. You've had a really fun public records request that has kept me busy this afternoon. Back in the airport, working on RV issues with the airport just this morning. Finance, I stay out of your hair because you've got a lot going on and you're very capable.
Right.
But it is my job to help every single department within the city. And I hope that they rely on me every single day. It's been an honor to serve every single department. I'm pointing this out because if you were to outsource this work and hire an outside law firm at the rate of 2,000 hours per year, which is around 38 hours per week, at the hourly rate of $250, and I would challenge you to find an attorney that works for $250 an hour these days, you'd be looking at $500,000. So just keep that in mind as we go through the next couple of slides. Next. In addition to helping every single department with their procedural and contractual issues, I also am basically running a law firm with a lot of litigation stemming from federal litigation, monitoring multiple class action lawsuits to ensure that we get our fair take on the federal class actions pertaining to opioid litigation, PFAS litigation. I am overseeing the bankruptcy of multiple entities where the city of Palatka is a creditor to ensure that we are in line to make sure that we get paid. I also oversee the garnishments of several employees, a quiet title action to make sure that we have clean titles to ensure that we get that grant funding for multiple entities throughout the city. I have been involved in, unfortunately, multiple interpleaders, but this is because of an aggressive stance I have taken pursuing our surplus claims for tax sale deeds, and I'll talk to you about that in just a minute. We are actively engaged, as you know, with multiple foreclosures. Again, I need to reiterate that these foreclosures in which we are the plaintiff, I am not going after anyone that is homesteaded or is that a resident there. These are institutional investors that have left their properties completely derelict and many times vacant and burnt out structures that I work very hard with code enforcement to ensure compliance. And when they don't come into compliance through a lot of gentle urging and nudging, we take them to court. And I also have been working very diligently with abatements, which basically means demolitions of our significantly blighted structures, which basically cause a imminent public health threat to the residents of Palatka. I work to ensure that those structures are demolished so kids that are trespassing into those buildings do not get hurt. Next. So that's about 20 cases, by the way, that I'm actively involved in. So it is basically running a law firm. I don't have a paralegal. I don't have an assistant, but we get the job done, and I enjoy going to court and working on behalf of the city. I have brought in a total revenue of $81,000. The fiscal year is not over quite yet, so this number is going to jump up marginally. Last year it was $87,000. The majority of the funds for this $81,000 this year pertain to an interpleader action where I aggressively defended an interpleader that was brought by the clerk of court, resulting in a payment to the city of $48,000 because we knew that we were right. And I would just like to point out that our position in that case, the legal position that we took in our motion for summary judgment actually established precedent on the interpretation of that particular provision in Florida statute. So we have established precedent setting case law for the entire state of Florida. And I've been contacted by multiple other city, county, local government lawyers asking for the judge's opinion in that prevailing motion for summary judgment. So moving on. Our operating budget, I like to make us sound a lot bigger than we are, but so when I say we and our, it really is just me, the legal department. At any rate, I'd like to just point out that there is no change being sought in the proposed upcoming fiscal year with respect to the personnel budget. I am the sole FTE for this department. I have been blessed with summer legal interns. Last year it was paid for by a grant. I couldn't pursue that grant again for 2 years in a row. I'll go after it again next year. You may have seen her around. Taylor Deckard has been absolutely a phenomenal resource this past summer and has helped me exponentially. But that's a $3,000 expense out of the operating budget. Next to the operating budget for capital costs, please. Also, no change here. I've had to make a couple of adjustments, but they're very minor. We're basically looking at a completely stagnant budget going into the next fiscal year. Next slide. In terms of the initiatives, we are embarking on a fairly ambitious initiative that you'll hear more about in the following months, but essentially we are implementing a strategic plan to once again capture all of the fines that are associated with violating city codes, which has been a neglected source of revenue for over 15 years, according to my discussions with Judge Morris and the Seventh Circuit. So we are going to get that back on its feet again, much to the delight of our police department and code enforcement. And this should really help with some of the violations that we're seeing around the city. We are going to continue with our foreclosure actions. Again, we're going after blighted vacant properties. And I am going to continue to aggressively review every single claim that we get. And this is a big task. I get dozens and dozens of these claims every single week that I have to go through and cross-check with code enforcement to ensure that we have a viable claim. And we will also be diligently pursuing fair market value for the various leases that we have with the city. Right. And so if you have any questions, let me know. And that is the legal department budget.
Thank you. Any commissioners, questions, Commissioner Moore? Commissioner Davis?
No questions.
Thank you. Commissioner Campbell?
I have none. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Ms. West. Airport budget, Mr. McNair.
The airport budget, absolutely. Good afternoon, everyone. Good to be here. So I'm gonna give you, kind of flip this a little bit. I'm gonna give you the objective here from the start. So we always try to maintain a flat budget since I've been here, considering the airport had some struggles with debt and those kind of things. And now we sitting here debt-free, as my city manager would echo. So we were not able to do that without really making a whole lot of things happen. So, you know, this is a purely we kind of thing. This is not a me. Our accomplishments over the last year were unbelievable. They were focused on operational upgrades that we really needed. They focused on just a transformation of the terminal building inside and out. We get a lot of compliments now from passengers, pilots. You know, we are 24/7, believe it or not. And they used to call it the black hole because when you flew into Palatka, there was nothing. The lights didn't work, and it was like, okay, I'm coming from out of state, and what's the deal here? So the self-serve fueling operation is lit up. The air side of the terminal lit up. The land side of the terminal is lit up. So those are projects that you see here in our achievements list. So there are a few that I really want to point out because they are significant. One was revamping the west side of the airport in the taxi lane, self-serve feeding area. So if you come into the airport, it's the section to the right. So you got the 3 commercial buildings. So that entire section there was rehabbed. $1 million and $2 grant dollars. He was very fortunate. And that was a huge plus for the airport. The second item is we were approved by the FAA. They signed off on our environmental for taxiway echo or E. That's significant. So there's no construction at the airport without the environmentals. And in this day and time, instead of it's going to the regional in Atlanta, it had to go to DC. So 3 weeks ago or so, we got the go ahead, hey, your environmentals are good. Next stop is coming before you guys with the design of taxiway E. And that's a federal FAA project with some FDOT participation. But that's probably your #1 signature project at the Palatka Airport. And that's going to help with growth. You got to have the infrastructure to accommodate the growth. It's not on here, but it's going to come up a little later. There's another signature project that I want to bring to your attention. And again, these are all focused on revenue generation. So it's been exciting in terms of operation. We've passed our airfield inspections. We've passed our fuel quality inspections. We've passed our FAA inspection regarding we call it our weatherman. You know, that there is a system at the airport that captures the conditions of the airport, wind, temps, the whole 9 yards, that helps the pilots make their decisions. So every year that has to be inspected. So, you know, we've been struggling with the weather here, you know, lightning and those kind of things. But, you know, fortunately for us, you know, all our inspections were fine. You know, we got thumbs up and we're able to accommodate our customers, whether they're jet customers or whether they're recreational customers. Next slide. Now, looking ahead. So these are a few projects here that you will see again. As I mentioned earlier, taxiway E design. So we were just provided with the grant offer from the FAA either yesterday, I think it was yesterday afternoon. So that will be on this month's commission meeting for acceptance. That's going to allow us to kick off the design aspects of the taxiway. The second signature project is dealing with the Jet Center, and that's the design, building a large corporate hangar next to the terminal building. So these are all projects that are supported by state folks, the federal folks, because they have revenue generation tied to them. So we call it a community hangar. We're going to be able to accommodate multiple aircraft users that's paying a daily rate, weekly rate, or monthly rate. We got fully funding in place. We are designing it as we speak, and you guys will see a design come before you, kind of showing the illustration of the project itself. Another two critical pieces on here that you will see again, and that's the action plan for the compliance assessment. So we are aggressively addressing those things. You know, a lot of them are easy fixes, interdepartmental setups. Others is going to take a little time. Secondly, the airport master plan. It is alive and well, and it's going to lay out what's the next 10 years are going to look like. I would say 8 to 10 years. Traditionally, it was 10 years, but we're living in a time, it's moving so fast, you need to kind of back off it a little bit. So it's 8 to 10 years of what the Palatka Municipal Airport is going to look like. We have not updated this in a number of years, so we are having to spend a little bit more extra time, but I believe the finished product, you guys appreciate, and I think, you know, down the road, I think it'll be more appreciated as well when they understand what we're working with and what this place can be at the end of the day. Next slide. So operating budget. Well, I guess we didn't get the updated version here, but that's fine. Essentially, my budget would be 1.2, okay? There's a couple exceptions here. So we have a very high priority on building maintenance, hangar maintenance, as well as equipment and field maintenance, okay? I asked the city manager if we can certainly focus on that area. But we also had the fortune of having a number of surplus activities at the airport that generate revenues for the airport. And I'm working with finance. They've set it up to where it's more of a contingency, and which is the way to do it, because those dollars are dollars we can put back into the airport for improvements, replacing Kubotas, getting necessary tow bars for jets, those kind of things. So I'm looking for the operating budget to essentially be flat for the third straight year. And I'll also, next slide, the personnel will remain the same. So for year two, in the second year in a row, we have everybody, the billets, the positions. Now we have one position that we have not filled, but in terms of the team itself, the positions, we're fine. We can manage with what we have. And I think part of being a department head or manager or leader, you may not get everything you want. So you got to work with what you got. So we have a good system in place. So the team will remain the same in terms of the number of the body count. Next slide, capital budget. There are some notables that's going to be realized in this upcoming year. Obviously the CapEx fluctuates, a lot of those things are a result of annualizing the dollars, when are the grant dollars are going to hit. So I am more than fine with the 2.2 that's referenced. We have some major projects that we got teed up, and with a few of the projects that's referenced here, one is taking the airfield markings and repainting all of them. We have not done that in a number of years. So that obviously assists the pilots with visibility, directions, those kind of things. So those are major safety aspects that we're able to address without city dollars. So that's a huge plus as well. And I think that's the last slide here. Any questions? I'm open to getting clarifications or anything
Any
else.
questions, Commissioner Moore?
No. Thank you for everything he's doing at the airport. Thanks.
Okay.
Thank you. Commissioner Campbell, any questions?
No, ma'am. Thank you.
Thank you. Commissioner Davis?
No questions, Mayor. Thank you.
Thank you. On to the Better Place budget. Mr. Dominguez Brito, thank you.
Good afternoon, Mayor and Commissioners. I will start my presentation of Better Place with some achievement that we have completed during 2024 and 2025. I just want to make a correction in the first one, the Chubbuck Park improvements. They're not yet completed. We're just missing the playground equipment and some lights that are going to be installed in the restrooms. We're working on that, so that's under construction. Just to mention a few stuff, we have completed the St. John's Avenue reconstruction and mostly to the railroad. Also the Palatka Heights Phase 2 Alt A, that's water lines replacement. Madison Street, 5th to the railroad, that's potable water too. Then the North Side resurfacing program, that's under construction. We have spent as far at least 500,000, and then we're doing the second bunch of street starting next week. We have the Palm Bowl Park improvements. It's under construction. Basically, in the next week, it's going to be done. Also, the Jenkins Community Center under construction. The St. John's Avenue streetscape, it's under design. We believe in around 1 month or so, we'll be sending this project out to bid. Then we have the affordable housing that's under construction. We have the Bronson House. We awarded that contract. We issued a notice to proceed. Actually, the contractor is working on the permits, waiting on the permits from the county. We just had a meeting today. We also have the wind retrofit project at the fire station. The contract was awarded. The contractor was issued a notice to proceed to. They're working on the permits to start working. Then we have the Price Martin. That contract was also awarded. We have the Oak Street 15 to 17 improvements. This is part of the North Side resurfacing program. And then we have the Race Grant. It's not under bidding process right now. That's a mistake in there. It's under design phase right now. And we actually had a community engagement meeting. I think it was yesterday, right? Thank you. Oh, sorry. It was yesterday. And then we have the Northeast, Northwest potable water that's under, now we just opened the bids 2 weeks ago. So we're now under the process of reviewing the bid and then issue a recommendation of award of the contract. You can go down, yes. Oh, sorry. We have some goals for this coming fiscal year, just to mention a few of them. Improve the quality and durability of completed infrastructure projects, ensure timely delivery of projects in alignment with approved schedules, prioritize community-focused improvement in parks, streets, and public facilities, support long-term asset preservation through sustainable design practices, foster stronger coordination between contractors, engineers, and city staff, maximize the impact of every dollar through a strategic project selection, increase transparency and reporting for project progress and spending, enhance safety, accessibility, and aesthetics across all funded projects. Also in here, we have the proposed budget for the next fiscal year. I also want to mention, as Ms. Cady was talking earlier, the project about the Reed Street. We have that meeting today. I did my homework after that meeting, and I just realized that we had that budget for next year. Yes, we have that in there. It says Reed Street median. We have a meeting with FDOT today, even though it says like FPL, that's supposed to be FDOT. It's because the median and the lights, it's just one project, it's the same project. So I just want to make that clarification in there. The proposed budget, it's going to be 12,901,000. Right here, maybe you are missing some other projects, but it's because they're not part of Better Place. They're just on their general funds or maybe on their utility. A big one that we're just about to start, it's the Northeast, Northwest. That's the replacement of 37,000 of linear feet of water lines on the Northeast, Northwest. The project's supposed to be awarded in the next commissioner meeting. This is not here in this budget because this is part of utility budget. So that's why it's not showing up in here. And that's all I have.
Thank you. Any questions? Commissioner Barr? Any, excuse me, any questions, Commissioner Davis?
No questions, Mayor.
Commissioner Campbell?
No questions, Mayor. Thank you.
Thank you. Planning and zoning budget. Is that you today, Ms. Cotty?
Okay, so our director for planning is not here. However, our valuable person is here. Ms. Christie. And she helps very much with managing a lot of this activity. So I know you help more with code enforcement. Huh?
Correct.
Okay, so I'll go through the planning real quick, and if I need help, I'll call you. Okay, planning, please. Let's flow it. Oh, so first, I'll try to read it, but they've done like 102 building permits, 23 historic preservation, 22 planning board, 19 sign permits, 42 zoning verifications, and 40 new BTRs. So they've had approximately 121 working days and have processed 248 files, an average of 2.04 files per day. You can change. The operating expenses is remaining the same, also including that professional services, because we believe that we're going to get a grant from the state for additional feasibility studies. So that's why that's there. And it will be to amend the land development regulations. That's what we're looking at doing now under planning. Our operating budget is 146,000 for this year. However, next year it's going to be 290,000. A lot of that, so a portion of that is attributed to that grant application that will be funded. And also that the planning department has now stabilized with their staff. And so there's some expenses that we have to incur by having the full staff on board. Personnel, we are currently at a planning director, 2 planners, and 1 planning clerk, and we have retained a contract with Terracon Consultants proposed is a planning director, 2 planners, as we already have, a planning clerk, as we already have. But also this year, planning director is asking for a senior planner. You can go for it, and there's no capital outlay
Thank you.
planning.
Any questions in regards to the planning budget?
No questions from Commissioner Davis, Mayor.
No
Thank you.
questions from Commissioner Campbell.
Commissioner Borman, any questions? Thank you.
As it relates to information technology department, we do, can you move forward, please? I'm sorry. Oh. Okay, so we have built out the network for Jenkins facility. We've implemented the Centennial One EDR for the MT virus. We've also, all employees get training annually for cybersecurity. We've completed the implementation of the Palo Alto fireworks, which is part of police and annex. Also, we've enhanced the environmental monitoring in the server network area. We've already issued the RFP for the managed services. We did select the same vendor, but we worked with them to modify and increase the value of the contract and the interaction and the assurances and timelines. Additionally, so we do have a part-timer that's here for like 10 to 12 hours a week. And that person simply served to be certain that everything is moving, that the cloud-based implementation, that we're on track, that our interaction with DMS is solid. So it has really changed the whole flavor of the IT services that we're now receiving. And that's that, okay? So the operational changes and goals for next year is actually to finally complete the separation. About 2 weeks ago, we did purchase a good portion of what was required to start that. So it's now actually starting pretty soon. At least most of the planning and the design is completed. However, they cannot start the implementation of separating the server with city and police. They cannot start that until they complete the cloud-based phone system being installed. And that has a start date, by the way, of August 12th. We have implemented the multi-factor authentication for the police department, but for the new year, we intend to do it for all city staff. Wait, it's somewhere. Okay, so we've done the training, so everybody's learning how to utilize IT managed care provider. And we're the implementation of that MDR stack for the police department, so they can really comply with SIGIS. That was like one more thing that was outstanding. So that's anticipated to be completed this coming budget year. And one of the things that we're gonna do with the provider, the same provider that we had previously that we're holding accountable, is that they're gonna be giving us monthly reporting. Okay, thank you. So the operating budget is 42,000 currently, but going forward it's 51,472 for the next fiscal year. Personnel maintained the same, but this year we have that 12-hour person a week, IT liaison. Next, please. The operating budget for this year was 297,000. For next year, we're proposing 325,000. And the software hardware was 71,000 for this year. Next year, we're at 80,000.
Thank you.
That might be it. Is that it?
Yep. Any questions, Commissioner Davis?
No questions, Mayor, at this time.
Thank you. Commissioner Campbell?
No questions, Mayor. Thank you.
Thank you. Commissioner Borman? I left you for last since you were most likely to have a question.
Well, no, just a quick thing. I just saw the IT department, and last year we didn't really have the department. We just had, we had the line item, but we had outsourced services.
We still, we still had the department there, but inside the department, the contractual service was included in that department.
That's what I just said, but, what I was looking at where you had the proposed total for the new but notable changes, you got just NA for the additional 8,000 something dollars.
Oh.
Operating, for the operating budget, you just, like you just bumped it up and it says say notable changes,
Oh,
NA.
there, one of the reasons why the operating budget increased, and I don't have that detail in front of me, but some of the operating expenses, like, we pay like fees and, we pay for things that did increase in this current year, so I'm projecting that increase for next year.
Okay, I just because
Okay.
we didn't, we only had the services, so the increase is part of the services that we incurred
I
or from
think I
last,
understand better.
and new services coming forward.
Okay, so in
But
the.
don't worry about it. We can talk about that later.
Okay,
I
thank
just
you.
need to kind of at least
I'll
understand that.
go over it with you,
Okay.
individually.
All right, thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you. Code enforcement.
Good afternoon, Mayor, City Commissioners. I'm Christy Lowe, Code Enforcement Coordinator. We have been in a transition, code enforcement. We are now under Planning Director, Mr. Lorenzo. So just to go over what we've done in the 2024-25, we had did 50 lien searches a month, and then we were transferring over to Orange Data, which is working very good. It's taken a lot of off of us as an officer. And we only assist Orange Data now maybe once every few months with a question they may have. So within this past fiscal year, we have done 135 cases that we have taken in front of the special magistrate hearing. We have collected over $100,000 in lien searches and lien reductions, which is fees for the fiscal year. We're continued this year, the Blight to Bright, the cleanup. As of this date, we have done actually 6 abatement cleanups. 2 of our properties, not including these, the owners actually did the demos themselves. We are currently working with local organizations to create programs to assist homeowners who are financially challenged with low-hanging fruit code violations, as of just cutting grass, trimming trees kind of thing. Next slide, please. So far for 2025, we've only assisted 4 lien search requests with Orange Data. We have held 6 meetings with our Blight to Bright team. Our lien reductions, we've been doing partial lien releases. We've done 24 full lien released and 7 lien reduction applications have been received. The 24 full liens we were doing some cleanup, some past history cleanup. Next, please. We've been doing, well, what we want to do is continue our community-oriented meetings for code compliance officers in the neighborhoods. We want to continue the Bright to Blight monthly meetings, the monthly magistrate meetings and hearings. We want to continue to work with the city attorney, the police department, and we're also about the citation ordinance, which is going to be basically another tool in our pocket that we're going to be able to use for code enforcement. And we're hoping to do some code enforcement signs in the neighborhood. Some of the neighbors have asked us if we could have some kind of signs put up that they are being enforced.
Okay.
So it's just something in the future.
Yeah.
The current total right now is 66,707. Proposed total is going to be 79,900. And in reference to the changes, the postings and filings, we are working on that, how we're doing our filings now. The city is doing a group page in the newspaper, which is going to save us. And then also with our filings, we have to do a certified mail, which is $9.64. We're hoping that we're going to be able to start doing some hand delivery if we know a person does live there. I mean, when you're looking at poaches on $9.64, if we can save that, we want to try to do that in the future. Our current staff right now is myself, and we have 2 new officers in the back. We have Mr. Barcelli and Ms. Dwyer. They have been a big service to us. And right now, our current contracts, we have iWorks, which is the $5,500. We have our special magistrate, Mr. Brown, and our simple file, which is $5,000, which is all of our filing fees. And we're hoping in the future that iWorks is going to, hopefully we'll be able to contract with our planning and zoning and do a combined. So we're no longer be using ADG, we'll all be underneath iWorks. So we're hoping that's going to be a money saver also. And in the future, things have gone up a little bit. Mr. Brown, and as Ms. West said, the attorney fees have went up. We did a little research and it's hard to find anybody underneath $500 an hour. Capital budget, I apologize, I'm not very well versed with the budget, but it proposed total is going to be the 25,000 and pretty much no other changes for us.
Thank you. Any questions from Ms. Lowe? Any questions of Ms. Lowe?
No questions from Commissioner Campbell.
No questions, but thank you. We see the fruit of your labor, so thank you for all that you do.
Thank you.
Thank you. And the signage, I was wondering if it'd be, I tend to be more positive. If there's somebody who has a code violation, they correct it. If a sign could be put up about, I've improved versus the negative. I know the neighbors want it,
We
but
want more positive, and that's what the neighbors are wanting, you know, like
Yeah.
we're doing a major cleanup right now around 1300 to 1700 block of Oak Street and Carr area. We've been out there with garbage bags ourselves, doing door-to-door meet and greet, seeing what the needs are. And they're like, man, that would be nice to have a sign that said code enforcement was here. You know,
Yes.
this is what we're working on. So we told them we'll look into it.
okay, thank you.
Oh, we love weekends and
I bet you do. Thank you for giving so much time. Government services budget?
Yes, government services, we've, well, that mainly we completed improvements in both City Hall and the Annex Building through the Government Services Department, chamber improvements, Office for Commissioners, City Clerk, Grants Accountant, Human Resources, CRA. These offices, you know, we actually built them so that the individuals could have a better working environment. We've also set up the security system, painted the parking lots, we did landscaping, we addressed many safety concerns like the hallway, the light, just so much, including the fire alarm system that we're doing right now. In next budget year, we want to continue improving our City Hall, even like our chairs and so forth in the chamber. Address the storage needs, which is a huge problem for all of us right now, and continue addressing safety concerns. We're also looking to improve risk management. So there's like, we're gonna make certain that one person is staying on top of liabilities and the trips and all this kind of stuff. We're gonna put more effort. We had the Florida League of Cities, I think it was Evan, came over and he's been teaching us quite a lot. So he's been coming over almost monthly. And so we understand that we need to put more effort in that and maintaining our pension operations as well. So that's under government services. Operating, so I did it like that because government services include this kind of stuff, right? Like City Hall operating, City Hall capital, expenditures, liability insurance, taxes, special events, you know, Blue Crab, fireworks, professional services, and capital. So currently, under that caption of liabilities, the budget is $739,000. We knew that we were going to do a lot of improvements in City Hall this year. We had $221,000, but the new year, we don't expect that we would spend as much in City Hall. Capital expenditures has gone down by about $100,000. However, liability insurance has gone up, and so there's the $814,000, but no capital, like just capital outlay are expected in government services this new year. Personnel. That really should, is that now city manager? Is that what that is? Let's look out of place, but that seems to be city management right there that we're looking at. So I'll just go ahead and say it. Currently, we have city manager, assistant city manager, public information officer, and procurement. But now we have added on the city manager, administrative assistant, which has been a tremendous amount of help. Awesome. So happy we have her. Can you go next? Oh, so
Any questions? On the
None from-
capital, government services, yeah, whatever.
I have none.
Nothing, okay, go ahead.
No questions.
So
Commissioner,
under,
nope, go ahead, you can go on, I'm sorry.
under the commission department. Okay, so commissioners have done a lot. I mean, okay,
Yeah.
I mean, they've set up so many various programs in the community addressing crime, youth, seniors, downtown businesses. It's just been a lot that, the commissioners have done this year. Seeking a permanent city manager, they've been attending legislative events, advocating on behalf of the city's matters and concerns, and even grant funding. It's just been a lot. They've done a lot of, they have approved improvements and continued expansion of streets. I think that's been the biggest effort that we've seen with the streets and the parks and sidewalks, water and wastewater. You know, like how they, even this year, they did the lead, water in the lead project, they, you know, aeration tower. So commissioners did a lot this year. And they've established routes even for population needing transportation with that contractual relationship with Right Solutions. So those are some of the goals that, besides just doing everything they do, they've also done that as well. The operating budget is 285,000 proposed. It's 296,000. That differential could be because also included this year in the commission budget, at this moment, until you give me better direction, there is an amount placed there for nonprofit organizations assistance, which is why we had the nonprofits come in. So there's an amount sitting there, and you can review that, and if you want me to increase it or whatever. But, and additionally, there's the continued funding there to help the citizens with transportation. Personnel, currently, we have the mayor, the four commissioners, mayor commissioner, actually, interns. We're always having 15 at least for the summer. And really, we did also have the legislative aid. That should be under current and proposed, because we do have a funded position, legislative aid. Capital currently is 59,000 proposed. It's been decreased down to 40,000.
Any questions, anyone on the commission budget?
Mayor, this is Commissioner Davis. And I provided this feedback regarding the commission budget. There are some line items that we have funded for individual commissioners where not exactly sure what the official reason is for those budgeted items. One concern I have is we're trying to streamline our budget and use it in a way that benefits all citizens. I am concerned that we have some what I call duplication. And so in particular, I'm talking about the line items. And Ms. Carty, I don't know the exact, I actually don't know the right terminology for them. But one of my areas that I think is a duplicate is that we have a cultural affairs department and a recreation department, and they're responsible for carrying out things that I think sometimes come across as a duplication of effort when handled by an individual commissioner. And I'm not so sure that the public image that projects is a positive one because of what our role is as a commission. Which is not necessarily, in my opinion, and I don't support having individual projects by commissioners or elected officials. I was doing some research and trying to identify if other cities did similar, and some do not. But some of the pros and cons, and the cons in particular, indicated that it could be perceived as those funds being used for a specific group, or in some cases as an opportunity, or give the appearance of being used as the city is paying for potential campaign events, especially if it leads up to an elected official's upcoming election cycle. So that's one of the things I'd like to look at. I definitely would like to change that perception. I'd also like to look at our recreation budget. Yes, we have programs, but that's another area I think we have an opportunity to understand. We're just getting proposals from nonprofits who offer some of the same things that the city is doing. Is there an opportunity to support those nonprofits in a more cost-effective way than duplicating efforts and many times causing confusion in the city? So I think that's an opportunity to look at, to reallocate those funds in areas that would serve our primary responsibilities as a city, again, with infrastructure and public safety and some of those other areas.
Thank you. Commissioner Campbell?
I'll reserve my comment. Thank you.
Thank you. Commissioner Borum?
No comment.
Okay, thank you. I do concur with many of Commissioner Davis's statements. I always felt uncomfortable and was opposed to the special events fund that's allocated to each of the commissioners. I think it would be better served to put it into another department budget, or be more specific. I think things like maybe kiosk, heritage tourism tours, something that's permanent and not something that's specific to that commissioner. But at any rate, that's something we need to discuss as we move along before the end of this budget cycle. Thank you. City manager budget.
Yes, ma'am. And that's our last one, I believe.
Yes, it is.
Let's do it. Okay, all right, can you move it up, you mind? So goals that were achieved in the year that we're living in now, primarily is stability, during the period of change that we've gone to. The primary goal was just reactivation of the grants and budget projects department, because it's so closely tied to realization of revenue. And so we're experiencing that. That's really, really great. Working closely with Public Works Department in all areas to ensure resources, planning, and guidance was provided to maximize resources. Completing that lead project to comply with federal and state regulations, and initiated many projects to bring growth activities to the city, such as securing a CRA coordinator addressing the Christmas lights without having FPO connection, LED signs, and just visiting businesses, community organizations, and churches in an effort to bring collaboration to the city. Send 20 potential leaders and passionate employees to the Leadership Academy, and then coupling it with, giving them leadership responsibilities as well. And then just restructuring slightly the organization chart to increase effectiveness and efficiencies. I would say those are major goals that were achieved under the city manager's department. For next year, what we're anticipating is to continue focusing on stability and not disorganized growth, but managed growth. Additionally, focusing on the hardening of the infrastructure, such as Roddy Road, lift stations. We've completed Winn-Dixie lift station repair. We're in the midst of working on Moody and 16th Station Streets lift station. The water meters are being replaced on a continual basis. Water towers we have 2 that are now functional. The new pump that's being worked on that just started about, say, 3 weeks ago. So we will continue focusing on the hardening of our infrastructure system. We started a process that the Commissioners asked, which was the internal reviews of all agreements and contracts. And believe it or not, we're learning stuff. We're learning every day, new information. Today, we had a meeting on skydivers, and we learned so much new information today. So it's a continual process as we touch every agreement, and we're just learning and bringing it forward so that we can improve the financial viability of our city. complete analysis, the recently acquired property port consolidated. We're looking at that more closely for short-term usage. We will actually start that and the long-term usage as well. And then the riverfront park improvements, the splash pad, playground equipment, and other activities to attract tourism. Also enhancing community activities and affairs. The July 4th parade and events was just a big success, but we want that to be the norm. We want to be successful all the time, impacting all of our population. And then we want to increase grant opportunities. We're in the season right now where the grants are opening up, so we're starting to prepare for writing grants. The next page is our operating budget is 50,433, but for the new year, it will be 47,848. However, there will be a line for capital, 10,000. Personnel, we've already gone over it, so personnel basically is remaining level because honestly, in the current budgeted positions, we do have the city manager, administrative assistant, and that is the end of the
Thank you.
presentation.
Does anybody have any additional questions? Ms. Cotty?
Yes, ma'am.
No questions here.
Thank you. Any
Thank you.
questions, Commissioner Campbell?
No, ma'am.
Thank you. Commissioner Borum? Okay, great. With that said, any additional comments from commissioners? Otherwise, I'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
Motion to adjourn.
All right, okay, thank you. Yes, go ahead.